To me, it's who you rather be that round. You know, who's landing, who's doing more damage, you know? But if you want to make a case for ring generalship here, Guzman has a hell of a case. He's been the ring general. He's the one who seems to be, if not always dictating what's going on, at least giving the impression that he's in control.
And he's landed 2 good right hands over the top here in the last 40 seconds of the round. And in a nondescript round, that could be enough to tip it in his scale.
This is it.
Yeah. Please, you can't give away this round, please. Yeah, please. Because
Okay,
Big round, okay? Big round. Okay?
We need a big round. Last round.
No chances. Plenty of
now, come on,
combinations,
man.
okay? Plenty of punches. When you get close to Guzman, think of combinations, run your hands on him, okay? Boom, boom, boom.
Easy boxing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Last round, Joan.
Throw that in, closer on his face.
Okay. That's okay.
Go think of power.
So far in the fight, Joan Guzman has landed at 27%. So has Ali Funeka. Funeka has been busier of the two, has not been effective with his jab, the movement of Guzman, and obviously in round number 6, a right hand drop Funeka. Close fight, one more round to decide it. What does Funeka have to do here to slow down Guzman and make an impression in this final round?
Well, he needs to do something big, and following Guzman around the ring is the wrong thing to do. Guzman's feeling really good about himself, and he's moving quite well. So he feels he has this fight in the bag right now. He needs to still throw some punches in this last round. You can't really leave it up to the work you've done. You still got to do some work in there.
Little feint and then a body shot by Guzman.
You know, as we are talking about how Funeka needs to show some passion, it is possible that he's up on the cards. I mean, there are several rounds that are swing rounds, and we've seen Funeka win some rounds, even though it seems as though Guzman could be on his way to a win.
I know, but you can't be satisfied with that.
It's just, it would be ironic if Funeka is indeed up on the cards, if he were to show some passion and somehow get knocked out, you know, if it were to backfire on him. It's going to be interesting to see how this fight was scored.
Hey, on my unofficial part, I have it even. But the telling blows all come from Guzman. Despite the fact that Funeka has been busier of the balance of the fight. Although not to the same level that he was in the last fight when he threw 75 around against a flat-footed, easy target in Guzman.
Yeah, well, he's fighting a pretty good welterweight tonight, Funeka is.
Guzman touches him with that left.
Funeka, when he throws that jab, he's like throws it a bit too far. He's not accurate with it, and that's because he's going after the head.
Stop.
And again, in that first fight, Guzman just stood there, Lennox. You know, the blood, he said, sort of paralyzed him. He's moved for 12 rounds.
Oh, he looks a lot better than the first fight.
Again, we go back to the fact that he didn't have to make weight.
I have something to say about that when this is all over.
Feel free, the canvas is blank.
Stop.
Let's see how this fight is scored.
There's the bell to end it. A much closer fight the second time around. Will Ali Funeka lead with the vacant lightweight belt? Guzman can't take it because of the weight situation, but he showed movement. He looked fresh. And of course, he scored the knockdown in round number 6. A huge factor in this fight. See Letterman's unofficial card has it comfortably for Guzman. Could be the case. There was about 3 or 4 rounds in there that were tough to score. Let's go back to round number 6, Lennox, and kind of that looping right hand caught Funeka by the ear.
And it was a situation where Funeka was a bit off balance and he was leaning down. And then when he got hit with that punch, he had no feet under him to really stop him from hitting the canvas.
Well, in the first fight in Quebec City, only one experienced judge. Here, as we illustrated at the top of the show, we have 3 very, very credible judges, starting with Dwayne Ford, 142 title fights on his resume. Robert Hoya from Nevada, 23 title fights. He had Foreman easily over Santos in that decision. All good scores. And then Steve Weisfeld from New Jersey, 43 title fights. In Hopkins win over Pavlik. He had it for Hopkins comfortably. So judging will not be a factor. Again, there's some close rounds in there, one way or the other. Well, let's find out how the judges had it scored as we send it up to the ring and Michael Buffer.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Dwayne Ford scores at 114, 113. Funeka. Steve Weisfeld, 114, 113. Guzman. Robert Hoyle, 116, 111 to the winner by split decision, Joan Guzman.
So Guzman wins a split decision in a very close fight. Joan Guzman gets win number 30 on his career. Max, I know you wanted to say something about the fact that Guzman never had to make 135 pounds.
We have seen this in recent years. Corrales-Castillo rematch. Castillo didn't make the weight. The fight went on. Castillo won by knockout. He tried it again in their third fight. That fight was canceled because Corrales didn't want to get knocked out again. Guzman-Campbell was canceled because Guzman didn't make weight. Campbell-Funeka, they went through with the fight. Campbell didn't make weight. He won. Mayweather-Marquez, they went through with the fight. Mayweather didn't make weight. Mayweather won. Guzman-Funeka, Guzman didn't make weight. They went through with the fight, and we see Guzman won. What we're seeing here is that fighters, this is what they do for a living. They train all this time. The day of the fight comes, their opponent doesn't make weight. Of course they're going to go through with the fight or they lose the payday. So the opponent knows there's no incentive to make weight. It's clearly an advantage because the fighters who don't make the weight when the fight follows through, they win. Boxing requires a certain amount of cooperation among the fighters, a certain code of honor. And I think what we're seeing in recent years is a deterioration of the most basic level of sportsmanship. The fighter who doesn't make weight has all the leverage. He doesn't have to intend to the entire training camp. He comes in with enormous advantage. He'll pay a fine. Funeka, in this case, gets an extra 25 grand and goes home with a loss in a fight against a welterweight. It's not fair, and I don't like it.
Well said, Max, as we take a look at the final punch stats for the fight. We'll start with the total punches, and you see that again Funeka was busier, not as busy as he was in his last fight against Guzman. Guzman's movement had a lot to do with it. Then you take a look at the power punches in the fight, and you see that Funeka landed at 36%, Guzman at 33%, but Guzman's were a bit more apparent, and of course the right hand that we showed you dropping Funeka in round number 6 obviously was a huge factor in the fight, and it tips the scales in favor of Joan Guzman, the winner here tonight.